All right, guys. As has been the case lately, I've got Luca, who is a crack fiend, so the likelihood of some sort of interruption is high. This one is about Doge and Musk's comments of how transparent it is, not to mention Caroline Leavitt's comments about how extremely transparent it is. We're going to investigate that claim. Needless to say, any of you with brains should know already the answer to this question. There is no transparency, but we're going to dig into it anyway. So I'm going to start with a little infographic here. Stay off the desk. So this comes from the New York Times. It's labeled Trump firings hit agencies with oversight of Musk's companies. Anything with an orange line indicates federal investigations, and anything with a red line indicates regulatory battles. The Department of Transportation. Regulatory battles with violations and fines regarding SpaceX. Department of the Interior, federal investigations with a Starbase review of SpaceX. Department of Justice, regulatory battles, lawsuit, SpaceX. Department of Agriculture, federal investigations, an investigation on Neuralink. National Labor Relations Board, we've got both. We have a regulatory battle with a complaint on SpaceX. And we have, it's actually 3 different companies. We have a federal investigation into Tesla and a federal investigation into X. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, we have a regulatory battle with Tesla, or a lawsuit specifically. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, we have a regulatory battle in the form of a complaint with Tesla. Securities and Exchange Commission, we've got a federal investigation involving Neuralink. We also have a regulatory battle in the form of a lawsuit with X. The Department of Defense. Security clearance, now these go specifically to Musk himself. These are all regulatory battles, but it's very obvious how they affect him. The Federal Election Commission, complaints. Office of Government Ethics, oversight. Now, in the White House, when Elon Musk did his little Doge press briefing type deal, one question was brought up involving whether or not there's conflicts of interest. And he basically said that this is all so transparent, and that if there was something that would like benefit him in some way, obviously people would know about it. And that's not really the case, because you're hiding all of the actual reasons why you're attacking all of these departments. Not to mention, he's just making up shit. Like, for the biggest example, which got brought up in the press briefing, as the $50 million condoms to Hamas. And the condoms were used to fucking, according to Trump, to build bombs. Like, you can't even make this shit up. And that's only one example. So he wants you to believe, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this now, that everything that he's digging up, or his hackers are digging up, and that's another little piece here. If you were interested in trust, as he claimed in the press briefing, you wouldn't hire hackers. You would hire accountants. That should tip you off to a little bit what's actually going on here. Again, and everything that he's doing is blatantly illegal. you have to go through Congress to deal with anything involving the purse. But they're just skipping over all of that. Anyhow, so let's see. Now we're going to jump to a quick article. I may not read all of it because it's not everything there is not entirely accurate any longer, but still we'll at least begin with it. Elon Musk claims the DOGE website offers transparency, but there's nothing there. This was on the 12th of February, about 5 days ago. Elon Musk gave a bizarre fact-free press conference next to President Donald Trump in the Oval Office of the White House on Tuesday, promising truth and transparency as he smashes the U.S. government to smithereens. But there was one comment that has been largely overlooked from the strange spectacle. Musk said DOGE was being transparent by providing information on the DOGE website, except that there's nothing there. Musk was asked by a reporter about his major conflicts of interest, given the fact that the billionaire is currently rooting around government agencies where he derives billions in contracts through companies like SpaceX. Mr. Musk, the White House says that you will identify and excuse yourself from any conflicts of interest that you may have, one reporter asked. Does that mean that you are in effect policing yourself? What are the checks and balances that are in place to ensure that there is accountability and transparency? Musk insisted that there was no problem with the fact that he was policing himself and went on to insist DOGE was being transparent in every possible way. In fact, we post our actions to the DOGE handle on X and to the DOGE website, Musk said. So all of our actions are maximally transparent. In fact, I don't know of a case where an organization has been more transparent than the DOGE organization. The X account for DOGE does indeed post things, though they're often misleading or outright lies. But the website Musk identifies is empty. You can check for yourself. And by the way, we're going to visit doge.gov here in a moment. It's no longer empty, but this entire article might as well be true because it's not transparent. And for all we know, all of the actual claims to why these funds were diverted or stopped could be complete fucking lies. Anyhow, continuing, the domain is doge.gov, the kind of site where Musk could hypothetically be posting all kinds of information about the work he and his goons are doing right now, but there's nothing except 3 lines of text. The top of the website reads an official website of the United States government. Then there's the name of the group, Department of Government Efficiency. And then you've got one more line, the people voted for major reform. There's also a logo that's just a $sign, which has replaced the Shiba Inu Doge logo that appeared when the website first launched. The press conference, which is available in its entirety on YouTube, really was odd in many respects. Musk spent most of his time saying things that simply weren't true about fraud he identified at various government agencies. But he's presented precisely zero evidence thus far that DOGE has identified any fraud. Everything posted on social media by the billionaire he's claimed is fraudulent was actually just a program that was authorized by Congress that he didn't like. Breaking in here, you'll notice that's a theme here. He has identified 0 cases of fraud. What he's done is he personally thinks that this is a waste, and that's what Congress is for. And he's just skipping everything and claiming that there's fraud when there's not. That's not even to mention that we don't even have evidence that any of the claims of DEI and like condoms or whatever, we don't even know if any of that's true. We're expected to trust Musk on this shit. And like maybe eventually I will go into a detailed video of the history of Elon Musk. But for the time being, let's suffice it to say, everything that led to his success has been built upon fraud and being a con artist over and over again. He's claimed that many people believe at least, that he started Tesla. He didn't. He took over Tesla. He was not part of the original fucking business at all. And this is kind of his entire thing, not to mention making extremely grandiose claims and not delivering on them. That's like what he's known for. But anyhow, But there was one area where Musk admitted he was wrong. A reporter asked the Tesla CEO about his claim that DOGE had identified 50 million worth of condoms that had been sent to the Hamas in Gaza. The reporter noted that after some fact checking, it appeared there was a city called Hamas, Mozambique, where U.S.-funded HIV prevention efforts had sent condoms. That's the actual truth behind the bullshit. And again, for all we know, I'm not going to continue on this for now. Every single thing he says could be complete bullshit. There is no transparency. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and we're going to go to DOGE itself. Basically, this looks like a bunch of X posts. That's like pretty much all it is. Very professional. So this is a post on X from Aaron Rupar saying yesterday the DOGE guys post classified information on their website, and they had to realize, oh, we didn't realize that agency was a classified agency. You shouldn't let people rampage through offices that have classified information. This is inaccurate. The reference classified information is actually public FedScope data posted publicly by OPM, Office of Personnel Management, in March 2024. Not really getting into what I'm looking into this. According to the Social Security database, there are the numbers of people in each age bucket with the death field set to false. Maybe Twilight is real and there are a lot of vampires collecting Social Security, laughing emojis. For all we know, this is complete bullshit, and he's using bullshit as an excuse to cut funds, which is already what I believe, and there's evidence to suggest it based on his lies in the past. Department of Government Efficiency, a post on paper checks. Treasury processed 116 million paper checks in FY 2024 and FY 2023. 25 billion in tax refunds were delayed or lost due to returned or expired checks. Treasury maintains a fiscal lockbox network to collect checks for tax, IRS, passport. Read more, it sends you to X, and that'll be kind of complicated. Then I'd have to like switch over on StreamYard, so I'm not going to do it, but I have checked this specific one. Basically, it just says that we should get rid of paper checks and it will save a bunch of money. I don't have a problem with this. DOGE is looking for help from the general public. Basically, if anyone has any ideas about government cuts or whatever, post it. First step in reforming the FAR, Federal Acquisition Regulation. Effective today, USGSA issued FAR deviations to implement key POTUS executive orders, ending illegal discrimination, restoring merit-based opportunity, and eliminating forced use of paper straws in procurement. GSA is leading the way and encourages all agencies to follow. I love how they call illegal discrimination like discrimination against white people, when that's not the purpose of any of it. Also, which is misleading and basically a lie. So merit-based opportunity, which is what they're like saying to combat like DEI type programs. And what we have here at the highest form of government is, well, look at Trump's cabinet. Absolutely none of them qualify for their positions. They were chosen because of perceived loyalty to Trump, and that's it. So this whole merit shit, it's all bullshit, complete bullshit. Department of Government Efficiency, U.S. taxpayer dollars were going to be spent on the following items, all which have been canceled. $10 million to Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcision, no evidence for that. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills, no evidence for that. $2.3 million for strengthening. I'm just going to click over. It probably won't show you that it clicked over, but I'll just read it. $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia, no evidence for that. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, no evidence for that. $40 million for Gender Equality and Women Empowerment Hub, no evidence for that. So what they're doing is they're posting shit that they believe most people will agree with, like at least the right, like things that they think sounds like some shit that the right won't be behind, right? But there's absolutely no evidence that this money is being used for those purposes. Zero. It's entirely possible, and I would even add and say likely, that he's just fucking lying about all of this shit. There's no evidence. So I'm going to continue here. Wait, that's still on X. Okay. Great kickoff with the Department of Defense. Looking forward to working together to safely save taxpayer dollars and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, of course. Thanks to at USED.gov for the support. Something fixed. It doesn't say what. Again, there's no transparency here. Roses are red, violets are blue. Today, DOGE and 10 agencies made 586 wasteful contracts bid adieu. With a ceiling value of $2.1 billion and $445 million in savings secured, a perfect Valentine's gift for all taxpayers. Well earned and deserved. Before I continue, yet again, taxpayers are not going to see any of this. This is to fund tax cuts for the wealthy. Well, I guess they are taxpayers. So if you're wealthy, yeah. If you're not, you're getting fucked. Today's batch includes a 8.2 million USDA, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't show it all. You have to go to X. But we'll look at this picture, and this kind of gets to the meat of what I want to go over. So this is a government sort of layout deal with the transaction information and everything. But the important thing, it'll tell you the contracting office agency name, like here, Farm Production and Conservation, blah, blah, blah. The office name, funding agency name is Farm Service Agency. And we have the amount, the award ID, all this good shit that's important for like government information. And we have the total, which is over $8 million. But we don't know what the fuck it was for. It's highly likely that it was something to benefit farmers, and they just fucking cut it, and they're fucking people. Most likely. So this is not transparent. So he fixed something to do with application forms for student aid, still had a non-binary option. Stupid. Like absolutely irrelevant to anything. This is like a fucking smoke screen to hide their bullshit. Like nobody gives a shit about that. Who cares? Department of Government Efficiency. This letter was sent to the Department of Education in all 50 states, notifying them that they have 14 days to remove all DEI programming in all public schools. Institutions which fail to comply may face a loss of federal funding. More smokescreen, fucking anti-woke shit. In the last 48 hours, the Department of Education terminated 70 DEI training grants totaling $373 million. We don't know that that's what they were. We're just expected to take Musk's word on that, and he's a known liar. 1, train teachers to engage in ongoing learning and self-reflection to confront their own biases and racism and develop asset-based anti-racist mindsets. No evidence at all here that that's what the actual money was used for. We're just supposed to trust him. So again, no transparency at all. He says, great work to Lee Zeldin. In partnership with DOGE, I just canceled 9 more wasteful EPA, DEI, environmental justice contracts, saving American taxpayers another $60 billion. I'm just warming up. I have zero tolerance for even a penny of your hard-earned tax dollars to be wasted or abused. No evidence to conclude that that money was actually being used for what they claim it was being used for. No transparency. Department of Government Efficiency. I'll end with this because we've went a good ways. I don't want this to be too long, and I've got a cat driving me crazy. $1.9 billion of HUD money was just recovered after being misplaced during the Biden administration. Due to a broken process, these funds were earmarked for the administration of financial services, but were no longer needed. Secretary Turner and DOGE worked together to fix the issue and de-obligated the funds, which are now available for other use by the Treasury. Let's take a look here. Jesus Christ, you can't even fucking see it. It's too small. The purpose of this modification is to... I can't frickin' read this. I'm going to try to pull it open in another tab. This is going to be the last one anyway, so I'll just drop this. And let's see if this works. Would you quit, you butthole? Let's see. Sharing that. Get out of my way, butthole. May not be able to read it after I do this. It's pretty terrible quality, which is probably on purpose. The purpose of this modification is to desplegate a total amount of 751, 221, 244. So that's $751 million as detailed below. The above unilateral class. There's absolutely nothing here that tells you where these funds were going at all. We're expected to just take his word at face value. Again, absolutely no transparency here. And again, for all we know, he's just fucking lying about every single claim he made. We do know for a fact that he lied about the fucking, well, he claims that it was a mistake about the 50 million, which turned into 100 million with Trump, which to me is evidence that they know that it's bullshit because they keep fucking changing shit. Like if they actually made a mistake and that there was like the 50 million, which actually again went to like fucking Africa for AIDS, which is actually a legitimate use of money, by the way. But if it were legitimate, they wouldn't have a need to constantly change it. It was 50 million to Hamas, and then Trump changed it to 50 million to Hamas to build bombs, which is retarded, and then it went to 100 million to Hamas. All of this shows that it's all fucking bullshit. So is DOGE being transparent with what they're doing? The clear answer is no, they are not. They're expecting you to trust all of the shit they claim. And I don't know about you. I don't trust fucking Elon Musk for shit. The motherfucker has lied and been a con artist his entire fucking career as an entrepreneur. Whatever he's fucking done has always, like, again, I'll probably cover in detail fucking eventually Elon Musk. But for now, look into it yourself for the time being, because you should care about shit like this. Look into the history of Elon Musk and all of his fucking lies and like his claims, how he like got a bunch of investors on board by making bullshit claims of what he could do with funding, blah, blah, blah. And then he didn't deliver. And then he did it again and again and again and again. It's like a fucking common theme with him. So no one should fucking trust Elon Musk. Thank you for your time.